Good afternoon, this is Media Center Ukraine Odessa, and we're starting for today, and you can watch us both online on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. And now we are going to talk about the shelling of Kherson and the region, and our speaker is Oleksandr Tolokonnikov, the spokesperson of Kherson Regional Military Administration. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Yesterday at night, Russian occupiers continued shelling of your city. It is known that there are injured persons, including children. Could you share more details about yesterday's shelling? Over the last 24 hours, there have been 82 cases of shelling of the right bank, using more than 350 projectiles, artillery, grades, tanks, aircraft. 36 projectiles were shelled on Kherson, and yesterday at night we had combined shelling. Russians used grads and shaheds. Mobile groups shut down all drones, but the debris damaged a warehouse leading to fire and also a block of flats where there were children that were injured as a result of shelling. There were 2 children in one family. There is a pregnant woman injured, but luckily they were not injured heavily. They had more like stress or psychological response to this stress. They are now at hospital under doctor care. A 13-year-old girl in another house also had her leg injured, but her family refused from referring to hospital. So there were 9 children in total that were injured yesterday by shelling. And a wife and a husband were injured in Antonivka. 3 more persons in Breslav were injured as a result of bombardment from drone. That were 3 men. And 2 men in Taginka were also injured as a result of artillery attack. And those men were outdoors and they were injured. A critical infrastructure facility was also struck yesterday, a vocational institution in Kherson district. A kindergarten was injured in Kherson, and also healthcare facility, postal service, and also the station. But we will repair everything after our victory, or at least after Russians are repelled in 30 kilometers more. How long was that massive attack on Kherson? They were around 2 hours. There were 2 waves of shaheds. And as I see it, they used multiple launch rocket systems to support drone attack, to deceive our air defense units, but our units don't all drones that were in our region. As far as I understand, now municipal services, utility services have a lot of work. Do you have enough people with this? We have doctors from other regions. There are more than 80 doctors now working together with doctors from Kherson, and in general there are 700 healthcare professionals in the Kherson region, but we're supported by the Red Cross with Doctors Without Boundaries. There are also outpatient units in different communities of the region. These are mobile groups and teams, and they can provide healthcare services to different injured in different areas. In every community, we now have fire brigade units, and with the professionals being there on duty, and we also provided equipment they need to them. After liberation of the whole Kherson region, of course, we expect increasing number of people, and in this case, we will have to increase the resources for the state emergency service, for utility services, because now only 25% of the whole population of the region is still there, and those people whom we have there are enough in terms of the healthcare services, etc. I know that the modular healthcare station was opened, had been opened recently in Kherson Oblast. Yes, the first deputy minister of health came to us to open this facility in Braslavsky district. And this is really very helpful because in Borislav the situation with the regional hospital is really very difficult because it has been attacked at least 4 times with guided aerial bombs and shelling continues. That's why it is very important for that community to have such outpatient units. For the local personnel to be able to provide services needed and for the community. Because generally in the district the situation is difficult. Kherson has been recently visited by Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, to monitor the situation with shelters in Kherson in particular. What is the situation with bomb shelters there, and do people use them during air raid alerts? We have enough shelters, but I don't see some significant demand among locals during air raid alerts. Because air raid alerts are not that efficient compared to other regions of Ukraine, and people use the outdoor shelters. Generally, there are 150 such shelters in Kherson, near bus stops, for example, and 220 in total in the region. And in Kherson, we have such outdoors shelters near crowded places like supermarkets, etc. So as soon as people hear some explosions nearby, they don't have enough time to get to the classic bomb shelters, to get down there, because everything is very quick here, very rapid. Every 3 minutes, the right bank is hit by projectiles. They have different numbers every day. So people just need to spend all the time in such bomb shelters, but people try to live on. Last time we discussed mobilization with you. Could you share more information about mobilization measures that are taken at the moment, and are there any challenges? The Kherson region, together with the whole of Ukraine, is involved in mobilization process. But we mostly have here elderly people, not so many young people stay here. That's why we cannot have the same numbers as other regions, or the numbers that we could have before the full-scale invasion. But quite a significant share of Kherson residents defend Ukraine in the Kherson Oblast and also in the Kharkiv and Donetsk Oblasts. And we continue, of course, our activities, and the law enforcement officers are here, and it has been made, the decision has been made to intensify mobilization and also to strengthen control over medical examination commissions. And we're going to check the decisions of some of doctors. The Russian Federation has launched the information campaign that they are going to come back to Kherson soon. How could you comment this? First of all, we are looking forward for not only Russians, but a SALDA collaborator. Of course, this is not true, because our people just want to ask a lot of questions to them, including law enforcement units. As for their campaign about coming back, this is just a part of their propaganda, just to feed people with some information, to create certain information background, because people in the Kherson region are tired of the situation. They are tired of Russians looting and searches. They are tired of the cases when people are kidnapped to be taken to torture rooms, to temporary detention centers, to basements, but they don't do anything to really help people in the occupied territories, for example, to restore power supply. That's why, of course, we understand that. Sorry.
Тут питання в тому, що вони знов-таки тільки займаються пропагандою.
Russians are just more interested in propaganda, trying to deceive people. And they use Ukrainian resources. At the moment, they occupied those territories, and they don't repair anything. They just can tell about their plans of occupation. Thank you very much, Oleksandr, for joining us today, for finding time to be with us. That was Oleksandr Tolokonnikov, the spokesperson of Kherson Regional Military Administration. He shared with us the latest updates about the situation in Kherson, and we will continue at noon.